Morning, High Point Church. Hey, it's great to see you here. Thanks for joining with us on this first Sunday of 2018. We're glad to see each and every one of you, and especially today, if you're here and you're a guest with us, thank you so much for coming and being with us today here at High Point Church. We want to connect with you, and whether you're a guest or a regular attender, we have a couple ways you can do that. You can text CONNECT to 75474. You can do it that way, or on your seat when you came in today, there's a connection card that was on your seat with a pen. And if you just, if you're a guest, a first, second, or third time guest with us, if you just fill out the entirety of this, or if you're a regular attender, just the salmon portion, we would appreciate that. And we are so glad that you are here today. Today we're starting a new thing in our service each week called Connection Point. Each and every Sunday, we're going to be featuring one of our core values here at High Point Church. And today we're going to talk about community worship. So Caleb and Rhonda have joined with me today. They're here on staff. We're all on staff here at High Point Church. So Caleb, tell us, what is Connection Point?
You know, we wanted to scrap announcements because you don't listen anyways. I'm just kidding, just joking. But we wanted to create a segment. I got your attention there. Hey, we wanted to create a segment that we're able to equip you to fulfill the mission of God, to grow in your relationship with Him, and to fulfill the mission of High Point Church.
Yeah, and also every week we are going to highlight one of our four core values here at High Point Church in a way that you can go home and you can engage and kind of take hold of what those four core values are. So it's kind of a nice way for you to get to know a little bit what we believe and why we believe, because we believe in spiritual growth here and we want to see that in everybody.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that's really important as we continue with the connection point, or we start with the connection point, is the bulletin. If you have a bulletin, take it up in the air, wave it at me real quick. You have one of these things, wave it, come on. These things are gold to you now. They are very important because we're not going to make a lot of announcements while we're doing these. And so you need to make sure you read these, and actually every week when you get your the point in your email box on Thursday or Friday, you need to make sure you open those and read what's going on, because we're not going to divulge a lot of information right now. We're going to cast vision and kind of engage in that way.
And one way that we want to give you a little incentive to look into your bulletin is starting next week, we're going to give some gift giveaways. It's not going to be every single week, but you won't know when it is. And so we'll use the bulletin to give those away, and they're not going to be, you know,
so
chintzy.
If I open the bulletin and do what it says, then I get a prize.
Not you, personally.
Okay.
But them.
All right. Because that would be cheating.
That's right.
That would
That's
be
right. So Rhonda, why don't you tell us how we can get more out of our Sunday mornings each week?
So Sunday mornings, I kind of view it as like when you would go to a Bronco game or a Nuggets game. You go with anticipation, and we should come to church with anticipation. You know, we go to the games early, we find our parking, we plan our day around it, we go get the food that we want, which is always yummy, and we do have a cafe here, so it's kind of the same. We just don't sell hot dogs.
That's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
The indigestion.
But what it more is, we anticipate a win. And you know, every Sunday we should come through these doors. We should come mentally prepared, come early, that we can be settled and pray that God would speak to us in a special way, because every single week God has something special for you, whether it's through the worship, through the message, through meeting other people. So I believe anticipating and preparing for church.
Yeah, you know, one of the other things, Jeff, that I think about when we're talking about getting the most out of Sunday morning is that as we start this new year, a lot of people are coming to church for the first time, or maybe returning to church. It's a New Year resolution. And, you know, there's a big difference between interest and commitment. Interest is something that you do when it all aligns and you feel right and you feel like it, but commitment is something that you do no matter how you feel. And one of the important things is that to start right this year, we have to really make a commitment to really attend 3 out of the 4 Sundays a month. And here's why I say this, is because with our teaching series, man, it's like building blocks. You get 1 week, and the next week it builds upon that, and it builds upon that. But a lot of people, we refill our cars regularly with gas. And to think about our spiritual journey in the same way, Sundays are to fuel us up and to inspire us so that we can live for God. And if we're running from fumes from 6 weeks to 8 weeks, man, we need every week to grow. And so I would encourage people to be here 3 out of 4 weeks.
That's great. And I know, Caleb, that people have different ideas about church and different expectations. What are some common misconceptions that there are about coming to church every week?
You know, one of the things that I think about is we just wrapped up worship, and a lot of people think that this is a spectator event, that they come in and observe what's happening. In fact, when I was pastoring in Boston, I had a gentleman come in, he was like brand new to church, and he looked at me and he said, "Man, that band was awesome. It was like I was at a Led Zeppelin concert." And I paused, and he was like, and people were like raising their hands like, "Rock on," you know what I'm saying? It's like, not quite, but yes, you know what I'm saying? But think about this more than just a spectator event. It's not the band performing for the audience. We together are the group that are performing and honoring God and presenting it to God
Right.
in worship.
It's not just about watching.
Right.
It's about participating.
Absolutely.
And oftentimes we come through and think God's just going to speak to me and I'm going to stay in my little bubble. But another thing that the misconception is that it's all about that in the service, but it is about building relationships with other people. We need each other. We need to encourage each other. We need to pray with each other, because this crazy thing called life can bog us down at different times, and we're all going through different seasons in life. You might be going through something that someone went through 2 years ago, and they could meet you and just pray with you and say, "Hey, I made it through, you can make it through." That's what church is for. It's not just about the music and the message, which is our main focus, but it's also about building relationships with other people in our community.